Welcome to the world of online learning. I am Dr. G.K. Viju, Professor, University of Garden City, Khartoum, Sudan. We at GK Online Learning Tutorial emphasize on the topics from software engineering, project management, quality management, strategic management, and mathematics. Today we are going to discuss the topics from software engineering. Please subscribe to our channel for continuous support. Then comes Unified Modeling Language or UML. It's a standard language for specifying, visualizing, constructing, and documenting the artifacts of software systems. UML was created by the Object Management Group or OMG, and UML 1 specification draft was proposed by the OMG in 1997, January. It was initially started to capture the behavior of complex software and non-software system, and now it has become an OMG standard. So in other sense, it's a visual modeling language, a standardized general purpose modeling language in the field of software engineering, used to specify, visualize, construct and document the artifact of an object-oriented software system under development. A set of 9 diagrams in UML 1.4 and a set of 13 diagrams in UML 2. It's not a software development methodology, combines the practices from data modeling, business modeling and business modeling, object modeling and component modeling. And UML combines object-oriented analysis and design OOAD proposed by Booch, object modeling techniques OMT proposed by Ramba, and object-oriented software engineering OOSE by Jacobson. So UML is a standard modeling language, not a software development process. UML 1.4.2 specification explained that the process provides guidance as to the order of a team's activities, specifies what artifacts should be developed, directs the task of individual developers and the team as a whole, and offers criteria for monitoring and measuring a project's product and activities. The UML users architect, domain expert, designer, programmer or developer, and instructor. So this is the history of UML and the UML2 diagram. So the diagram generally classified into structural diagram and behavioral diagram. So structural diagram or structural modeling, it captures the static features of a system. They consist of class diagram, object diagram, deployment diagram, package diagram, composite structure diagram, and component diagram. The structural model represents the framework for the system, and this framework is the place where all other components exist. Hence, the class diagram, component diagram, and deployment diagram are part of structural modeling. They all represent the elements and the mechanisms to assemble them. The structural model never describes the dynamic behavior of the system. Class diagram is the most widely used structural diagram. Second, the behavioral diagram or behavioral modeling. Behavioral model describes the interaction in the system. It represents the interaction among the structural diagram. Behavioral modeling shows the dynamic nature of the system. They consist of activity diagram, interaction diagram, use case diagram. All the above show the dynamic sequence of flow in the system. So the first one, use case diagram. Use case diagrams at its simplest is the representation of a user's interaction with the system and depicting the specification of the user's case. The use case diagram can portray the different types of users of a system and the various ways that they can interact with the system. Or in other sense, use case diagrams are a set of use cases, actors and their relationships. They represent the use case view of the system. The use case represents a particular functionality of a system. Hence, the use case diagram is used to describe the relationship among the functionalities and their internal or external controllers. These controllers are known as actors. In brief, the purpose of use case diagrams can be said to be as follows. Used to gather the requirements of the system, used to get an outside view of the system, identify the external and internal factors influencing the system, and show the interaction among the requirements and actors. So there are four relationships in the use case. The include relationship is the directed relationship between two use cases. Extend, it's a given use case may extend another. Generalization, a given use case may have common behaviors, requirements, constraints, and assumptions with a more general case. Association, an association exists whenever actor is involved with an internal or external described by a use case. So an example for use case diagram. This is a restaurant model. So waiter, client, cashier, and chef, they are all considered as the actors. Ordering the food, ordering the wine, serving the food, serving the wine, cooking the food, eating the food, etc. are the use case activities. And the diagram which shows either association activity or extension activity. Then comes sequence diagram. A sequence diagram is an interaction diagram that shows how processes operate with one another and in what manner. It's a construct of a message sequence chart. A sequence diagram shows object interaction arranged in time sequence. Sequence diagram is an interaction diagram. From the name, it is clear that the diagram deals with some sequences, which are the sequences of messages flowing from one object to another. Interaction among the components of a system is very important from implementation to execution perspective. Sequence diagrams is used to visualize the sequence of calls in a system to perform a specific functionality. So the object interaction or the properties which is been given, objects are represented by vertical lines. Actors will be on the extreme left on the page. Messages are represented by horizontal arrows. Time increases from top to the page to bottom. Spacing between messages is not relevant. And message sequence numbering is optional. State chart diagram. State chart diagram is used to describe the states of different objects in its life cycle. So the emphasis is given to the state changes upon some internal or external events. Any real-time system is expected to be reacted by some kinds of internal or external events. These events are responsible for state change of the system. State chart diagram is used to represent the events-driven state change of a system. It basically describes the state change of a class, interface, etc. State chart diagram is used to visualize the reaction of a system by internal or external factors. So here given an example for a university admission. Activity diagram. Activity diagrams are mainly used as a flowchart consisting of activities performed by the system. But activity diagrams are not exactly a flowchart as they have some additional capabilities. It describes the flow of control in a system. It consists of activities and links. The flow can be sequential, concurrent, or branched. Activities are nothing but the functions of a system. Numbers of activity diagrams are prepared to capture the entire flow in a system. Activity diagrams are used to visualize the flow of controls in a system. This is prepared to have an idea of how the system will work when executed. Then comes class diagram. The class diagrams are the most popular UML diagrams used for construction of software applications. So it is very important to learn the drawing procedure of class diagram. These are all the most common diagrams. Class diagram consists of classes, interfaces, association, and collaborations. Class diagram basically represents the object-oriented view of the system, which is static in nature. Activity class is used in the class diagram to represent the concurrency of the system. Class diagram represents the object-oriented of the system, hence it is generally used for development purposes. It is the most widely used diagram at the time of system construction. So generally we can tell the class name, the class attribute, and class function. And then comes the final one, component diagram. The component diagrams are used to describe the physical artifact of the system. These artifacts include files, executables, and libraries, etc. They represent a set of components and their relationships. These components consist of classes, interfaces, or collaboration. Component diagram represent the implementation view of a system. During the design phase, the software artifacts like classes, interfaces, etc. of a system are arranged in different groups depending upon their relationships. Now, these groups are known as components. Finally, it can be said component diagrams are used to visualize the implementation. So this is the example for a component diagram. For example, if you are considering about an ATM, it contains card validator, dispenser, card reader, and ATM network. These are all being termed as a single component, and finally it grouped as an ATM machine. Advantages: UML is most useful method for visualization and documenting the software system. UML uses object-oriented design concept and it is independent of specific programming language. The UML can be used to model just about any type of applications. It can be used for modeling middleware and it is effective for modeling large complex software systems. Disadvantages: large and complex, some instances of inconsistent usage, semantically inadequate, lack of standardization. UML version 1.4.2 document is now an ISO IEC certified one. That is, IEC stands for International Engineering Consortium. This is the end of this session. Please like, share and subscribe. If you are having any queries, please mail to me to the mail ID given here. Thank you.